They choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I'm here with Kevin from Skywatcher, and we are going to be looking at a bunch of different options here from Skywatcher today. We're back at NEAF for the first time in many years. What does that mean for you as a Skywatcher, and what are you excited about to be bringing to NEAF this year?
Sure. So yeah, the pandemic obviously shut a bunch of stuff down, and I know March 2020, I think a lot of us in the industry were worried if we were even going to have a job at the end of that year.
Right.
It was the complete inverse, and astronomy just exploded beyond what we could even imagine. But obviously we had some difficulty going to shows and being around everybody, so now that NEAF is back, it brings that community back together.
And you can feel it in the air. Everybody's very excited about astronomy here.
Quite a surge here, so everybody's here. Everyone's really excited to see what's new, because while the companies have been trying to keep up with it, it doesn't mean we stopped developing.
Right.
So, you know, some of the stuff I've been excited about, of course, you have PlaneWave with their Delta Rows, real fast optical systems. Everybody likes astrophysics and what new cool stuff they're coming out with, and of course we have our own stuff.
Yes, can you tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so we have our Star Adventurers. Those have been kind of the go-to tracking mount for photographers for years at this point.
Absolutely.
So we one-upped it and evolved it to the Star Adventurer GTi, which now incorporates GoTo and Wi-Fi. So now it's basically a small little GoTo mount.
I've been personally looking at this for a number of months, trying to stop myself. And I'm standing in front of it, and it's even smaller and more compact than I thought.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
So what does this bring to the astrophotographer that the other one didn't?
So the originals were just a right ascension drive, so you had to point it and find your objects. This one's a full GoTo mount, so you're able to basically program it to go to M51 or the Veil Nebula or whatever you want, and we'll go off and find it and track it for you. So, however, if you're used to any of our larger mounts, you can control this the exact same way.
Wow, okay.
So it just shrinks it all into a really tiny package, and it holds about 11 pounds. And the cool thing about this is there's two counterweight positions. There's standard and right here in the low position. So you can go way down like the equator, and it's still doable. The polar scopes are obviously built in, just like all of our other ones, but what's cool about this, like the larger EQ6Rs and such, is the illuminator is built in, and it's all adjustable via the app too. So.
I'm going to be going to the eclipses, and I can just looking at this and thinking this could be a very travel-friendly option for the eclipse, and the ability to track and kind of use the interface, as you said, like all the other telescopes out there, makes it just that much more of a great option for us. So you had said you were looking at another option to be looking at, a larger telescope?
Yeah, so this is our smallest in the GoTo line, and then over here it's not our largest, that would be the EQ8R, which we unveiled a few years ago. But we've had a major gap in our lineup between EQ6 at 44-pound payload and EQ8R at 110.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people need something that's bigger than that, 44 pounds, but not quite 110, and that's where the new mount, the CQ350, comes in. This is a complete redesign from the typical equatorial mount from our lineup. It's still a standard design, so the saddle still sits above the center of the tripod. It's not an offset or anything. But we've redesigned it completely, so you can see it's been hollowed out quite a bit. The motors sit above the RA axis. Now the cool things about the CQ350 though is, like the smaller Star Adventurer GTi, it has two counterweight positions, so we can actually go down to 10 degrees latitude with the tripod, so again giving you a large range of motion. The mount head is a pound lighter than the popular EQ6R, so it's only 33 pounds for the head, but it holds 77.
Wow, that's excellent.
And then we have all what every imager needs, all the cable management systems, so USB, power up on the hub, and then all that's routed to the side of the RA. So while the cables are still moving on the RA, your telescope moves freely, and there's no cables that are going to get caught or cable drag.
Excellent. And this is a unique design in itself, and I know it's been around for many years. For our there's a lot of interest, as you said, in astronomy, a lot of new interest in astronomy. Can you kind of explain what this design is and why it's different from a a standard German equatorial?
Yeah, so it's kind of more of a yoke design right here. So it's still a standard equatorial, but there's a lot more control over it because we actually have a worm that sits in the bottom, and then the gearing of the teeth sits on. That's why we get the CQ. It's got this big,
okay.
I don't even know, C gear, I guess is what you could call it. But it gives you a ton of control. So you can see even with our Esprit 150 fully loaded, you can still easily adjust the latitude positions. And then this is actually the first large payload mount that we've made that has spring-loaded worms, and it has the belt drive just like our other mounts do, but the spring-loaded worms allows you to be very precise and your periodic error is reduced.
Yeah, keeping the gears meshed through.
Yeah. And then this does have 6-inch gears on it, so its guiding on it is very precise as well because of the large gearing of the teeth.
Excellent. So I'm sure you have a lot of plans in the works for next year's NEAF. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. So much innovation from you guys. I really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
As you guys can see, Skywatcher's not stopped innovating. The pandemic certainly has changed things with our astronomy community. It's bigger and better than ever. So now that we're back in person, I know many of you weren't having the ability to get here today. So I hope you enjoy this. Please check them out at Skywatcher.
Thanks a lot.
Yep, clear skies.